All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is a Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, before we get started in our lesson, let me go ahead and invite you to please like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's go ahead and get these likes up. Let's get in this algorithm and let's get this thing going so we can spread this truth to other people. Also, while you're at it, if you feel so inclined, check the description box below if you feel like donating. But I only want you to donate where you feel like you are being fed, where you feel like you are being edified. If you're not getting anything out of it, I understand. But if you're getting something out of it, hey, feel free, whether it be PayPal, CashApp, it's completely up to you. That out of the way, let's get into our lesson. Now, this lesson, I'm going to approach it a little bit different. This lesson is the Dietary Law, the Holiness Code. Now, what I mean by approaching it a little bit different is because I teach the lesson about every year, right? This lesson will come up once a year. And what happens is a lot of time, people will comment, they'll comment or say something, they'll say, hey, can you just give me a list? What can I eat? What can I not eat? Things like that, right? Now, those lists, they do exist online, right? But we'll talk about a few things, right? We're going to talk about a few things that we can go over, right? Now, it will not be an exhaustive list because you'd be surprised if you really go study of all the things that are clean, that are considered clean and that we can eat as far as animals and animals and things. But when we get into the specifics, the problem is living in the West, we have a lot of processed foods, and a lot of our processed foods are not, as the Jews, the other guys would say, it's not kosher, right? They may be contaminated in certain areas, right? Or they may have some ingredients that come from an unclean animal. You might get imitation vanilla and it has beaver, okay, in it. Yeah, beaver with the the wood and all that. Yeah, may have beaver in there, right? From their glands. And then you may have pork products and certain things. It'd be something as simple as certain gelatins and gummy candy where you would have a pork product in it. So you got to read those labels. So being in the West, you're going to have to definitely read some labels. Right now, we're in Persia, Turkey, place like that, they don't do that. You go into some Muslim countries, you won't have that problem. But here in America, hey, anything goes. So you're going to definitely have to become a label reader. I know I'm in a grocery store, I'm reading labels all the time, except some stuff I already know. I've been buying it for years and I already know, but you'll get there. You'll get there. So before we jump into the scriptures, we're gonna just kind of talk about some of the animals, fish, birds, everything. Again, it will not be exhaustive, but just because every time I teach this lesson, someone in the comment section will be like, well, what can I eat? What can I not eat? Right? And I'm not, the lesson is usually about, the importance of the law. It still stands and all that. And we'll get into that. But let's just talk a little bit about the things that we can eat, right? So the Bible determines food as clean or unclean. But I like to say something that is food and something that is not food, because it's a little bit more concrete, right? That means clean, unclean means fit to eat and unfit to eat. That's what it is. Food and not food. Fit to eat, unfit to eat. When we do that, it's easy to say things like, pork and hog and all that. Okay, it's not food. People say, well, it's unclean food. No, it's not food. It's just not food. It's not meant to eat. I mean, it's like our natural garbage disposal. It's like throwing something in the trash can and then go eat the trash can. It's nonsensical. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But let's go ahead. Now, there might be a little debate here and there. Someone will say, "Oh no, I've been looking up the." Okay, I'll give you the list. You go check it out yourself. Okay, that's all I can do. Because now people, they're having issues with like chicken and stuff like that. And I just pretty soon you guys are gonna go right. You're gonna be vegetarian. We'll be vegetarians again. Okay, with some people. But hey, I don't begrudge anybody for going ahead and really researching and searching the matter out, okay? So let's look at it. Now, as far as a couple of clean things, okay, we can go sheep, right? Sheep, lamb, goat. that is considered clean. That is food. Okay, anything it right there in that category right there. All these different varies. There's different kinds of sheep, right? You know, when you're an agricultural person, when you're a farmer and things like that, there are different breeds. You'd be shocked. Okay, different breeds of sheep and goats and things like that. Sheep is okay. Now, bovine or cattle, and what I mean by that, we could be talking about bison, buffalo, cows, you know, things like that. Guess what? That's okay. Ox, that's okay. That's fit to eat. These are of the bovine category, right? They're kind of the same, you know, grouping, right? Same grouping. You can eat that. You can eat those. Okay. So cow, buffalo, ox. There you go. Okay, you're good to go with that, right? We already said goat. We already said sheep. Okay, you want some deer or some gazelle? You can eat that. You can eat some impala. Okay, all those are good. Ibex, antelope, things like that. You can eat those those are clean. Those are considered food. These are the meats that we're talking about. Okay, I read somewhere I was looking because it fit the criteria. I think giraffe. Okay, I know many of us will never even get our hands on that, but it had fit the criteria when we read like giraffe, right? And we go, let's see here, a couple of other things here as far as land animals or in the air. Let's see here, birds. Okay, turkey, chicken, pheasant, quail. Okay, all these, right? You can eliminate. Just to help you, you can eliminate, you know, like birds of prey, okay? Eagles, hawks, sparrows, falcons, you see what I'm saying? Vultures. You just eliminate those. You can't eat. That's not food, okay? That's not food, okay? The what do they call like vultures and buzzards and they carry on, right? They eat dead things, so that's out. And then you have your birds of prey: bald eagle, crowned eagle, golden eagle. It doesn't matter, okay? The American eagle, birds of prey, okay? You can't eat those. You know, it's really that simple. You know, you can't eat that. But turkey, chicken, pheasants, quails, you know, ostrich. You can eat that. You know, you can eat that. That's okay. Little bit of debate on duck. Okay, a little bit of debate on duck. Now they have, you know, in the Bible, it'll say like swan or something like that. Then they'll say, okay, there's an issue with the translation. You click on it, look at the Strong's, look at the history, things like that. Oh, that shouldn't have been a swan. Okay, that's up to you guys. That's up to your that's your homework assignment. You go look that out, search out the matter. Okay, search that out. Right. Some people say you know, duck's okay. Some people say it's not okay. Okay, say well, there's a swan there and it's in the same family and all that. Okay, you guys get it. Okay, you get it. Then you have what the Timon and Pumbaa diet. You know, you get crickets. You know, crickets, grasshoppers, things like that. And we'll read the scriptures too. But you can eat those type of things like insects. You know, like what I think John was locusts and honey. You know, I think John the Baptist, his diet was like locusts and honey and things like that. So you can get your Timon and Pumbaa on that. Then we have fish. See, the thing with the Bible is that it'll give you it'll name a few things as examples. It's not exhaustive. It's not every animal, every species on the planet. And then it'll kind of give you criteria. Okay, with anything in the sea, fin, scales, boom. That's it. Okay, fin, scales. There you go. Now, being in the West, sometimes that gets a little bit tricky, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times, if we haven't went out and fished ourselves, okay, we don't know. It's like, okay, does albacore has fins and scales, or does amberjack has fins and scales? What about anchovies? You know, I mean, it's just different things. You know, catfish, dogfish, things like that. We know catfish doesn't have fins and scales. I mean, you know, it doesn't have scales. So that's the criteria. Okay, it'll give it criteria so you can catch something. It'll be real easy to identify. So, you know, your clams and oysters. Okay, no fins, no scales. You know, your catfish, no scales. Your crabs, lobster, shrimp, no scales. So it's real easy for us to identify. I hope this is helping some people, right? But then there's a little bit of a list there that's look like a clean list of fish, and I'll give you some in alphabetical order, and then we'll get into the scriptures, right? So it says it says albacore has fins and scales. You know, Alewife has amberjack, anchovies, angelfish, okay, and butterfly fish. I said this is they have this, the ballyhoo, flying fish, right? I don't know about the barracudas. I don't know about that one, guys. But probably I would have to look that up. Okay, Atlantic pomfret. Okay, bass is okay. Big eyes, blackfish. It has it. Blacksmith, blueback, bluefish, and snapper blue. Okay, bluegill. The fishermen out there, they're probably like, oh yeah, you know, because they caught it and they see it. Okay, Bombay duck, name of a fish. Bonefish, bonito. Bowfish, freshwater dogfish, okay, fins and scales. Bream, brill, buffalo fish, fins and scales. Butterfish, okay, fins and scales, okay. Butterfly fish, fins and scale, okay. Cabrillo, calico bass, capelin. Of course, I'm not going through the whole alphabet, guys, so don't, you know, I'm just giving you guys an example. Carps, minnows, certain ones, carol suckers, things like that, okay. So it says those things, those type of fish, okay, and I just went, you know, A to C, ABC. That's all I did, okay. But you can keep going down and down the line. I could put, you know, a longer list, but you guys get the idea. But here's the thing that you remember. What you have to remember when it comes to the fish, you fish it out. If it has fins and scales, you are good to go. You're good to go. You can let it rock. If you catch something and it doesn't have fins and scales, then you know, you can't eat that. Now, most of us, you go to the grocery store or something like that, you go to the grocery store, it's already cut up and all that, okay? You may have to ask, you may have to Google it. We walk around with our smartphone, you want to Google it, say, okay, does this particular fish have fins and scales, you know, that kind of thing. You know, look up your trout, your drums, and, you know, we just red bass, you know, just look it up, right? You're in a fish market, a lot of time it is fresh, it's right there, you still see it right there. I know some fish, remember, some fish you'll see, they've already scaled it, right? So you may not know. I mean, depends on the fish. I took a trip, I'm in the Bahamas and things like that. They're doing the fish fresh right there on the beach, right? So they grab the fish or whatever and they have the scaler and just, all the scales just start flying off or whatever and it's good to go. I know that I can eat that fish. I know that's good to go, okay? But aside from the fact that it's fresh, I know that's good to go. I can eat that fish. I saw him, I'm looking at the fins, I'm seeing him scale it right then and there. So you're good to go. So guys, just remember that criteria, fins and scale. You know, when it comes to four-legged animals, you know, chewed cubs, split hooves, things like that, okay? Usually gonna be of the bovine nature, right? Bovine cattle type nature. So look at those type of things and then you will be able to, you know, see. Like a camel is unclean. Okay, it has two of those, one of those characteristics, which we'll read, but you can't eat that, right? I mean, so you can't eat that. So it's just those type of things we need to remember and keep in mind. So you guys ready to jump into the scriptures now? Let's get into the scriptures. All right. We're going to start over in Genesis. We're going to start right at the beginning. Genesis 1. Right in the beginning. Genesis 1, and we're going to start at 29. Genesis 1 and 29. We're going to read 29 to 31. All right, 29 says this, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To it shall be for meat. That'll be for you to eat, right? And to every beast on the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so, right? So he gave them all the green herbs, and so we're vegetarians together, right? Because there was a time where our predators were not predators, right? This is pre-flood, obviously. 31. God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Okay? So, we're all in the Garden of Eden. We're all in this utopia. Not all of us, but Adam, Eve, Adam and the animals, okay? So they're all in this utopia, and everyone's just a vegetarian. Everything's good. Okay. We're just, we're just living life. Everything is great, right? Adam, that is. I'm not talking about us, Adam. So we're going to move on. We're going to go to Genesis 6. Okay. Talking about all this stuff before things go awry. Genesis 6. And we want to go 13 to 22. And it says, and God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shall thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Okay, we're going to read the 22. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set it the side thereof with lower, second, and third stories shall thou make it. Right, so it's going to be a 3-story boat. Right, I want you to picture it in its mind's eye. Right, so the third story shall thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. From under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. 2 of every sort. Keep that in mind, guys, because we know the whole children's stories and nursery rhymes and things like that. They go on an ark 2 by 2, right? Okay, and it says, of the fowl after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind. Remember, I said cattle. And of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. Okay, same kind, same species, same kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. Right? And take thou unto thee all of the food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Okay, so all these fruits and berries and herbs and things that we were talking about, right? Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him. So did he. So he did these things, right? So I'm just painting a picture there. So in the beginning, all vegetarians have the animals and all that. Everything's good. Now we go up to chapter 6. Now we're looking at Noah, and the Most High is saying, hey, look, I'm about to get rid of everything. I'm about to send a flood. Hey, preserve thyself, save thyself from this untoward generation, right? Everybody is wicked. So he's going to go ahead and take care of that. Get that out of the way, okay? He's going to go ahead and get that all out of the way. And Noah's going to be spared. But we're going to get into this whole food thing, right? So we see in chapter 6, 2 by 2, 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Now, let's go chapter 7. We'll start at 1, right? And the Lord said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark, for thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. Of every clean beast thou shalt take to thee by 7, the male and his female. And of the beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female. You see? So we saw that before we had, it was just 2 by 2, like, right? It was all animals, right? But it really wasn't. It just was, he just needed to continue his instruction. Remember, chapter and verse was added to the Bible later. Okay, so this could just be just continuation, right? So of every clean beast, it's 7 by 7. So we had 7 female cows and 7 bulls and 7 female oxen and 7 male, 7 buffalo, male and female, so on and so forth, right? Of all the clean animals. Why? Because later we have sacrifice, okay? So we, that comes into play. Especially since death enter in. So once death enter in, okay, we need sacrifices. See, he already had a plan B already, right? It was all a part of the plan. But now we see that we got 7 of 7, right? So verse 3, it says, of fowls also of the air by what? 7s, the male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth. For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him. And Noah was 600 years old when the flood of the waters was upon the earth. And Noah went in, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of clean beasts and of beasts that are not clean, and of fowls and of everything that creepeth upon the earth. There went in two and two unto Noah into the ark, the male and the female, as God has commanded Noah. Now, again, since it repeated the 2 and 2 and all that, right? So when you learned this before, you didn't really hear about the 7 by 7, right? It's 2 by 2, 2 by 2 of the unclean, 7 by 7 of the clean. This is our opportunity to get the whole story straight, which is why we need to read the scriptures ourselves, which is why I encourage you to follow along. Write down the scriptures that we have. This is Genesis 7, and we just read 1 through 9. Okay, we did 7, 1 through 9, right? And check the description box below. Also have it down there for you to follow along. So now, with that being said, we're going to move forward into Leviticus. Okay, we're going to move forward into Leviticus. Now, when we get to Leviticus, I want you to join me and meet me over in chapter 10 of Leviticus. I'm going to read 8 through 11. Okay, let's look at this. In the Most High, let's say, and the Lord spake unto Aaron, saying, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee, when ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, right? And that ye may put a difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean. Now, do we have our churches today, our Sunday churches today, putting a difference between the clean and the unclean? And look at what he's doing. He's setting it up with Aaron and his sons, right? We got to put a difference between that, right? And then 11, it says, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes which the Lord has spoken unto them by the hand of Moses, right? So this is the thing that we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be doing this like if I learned this, now I'm not a Levitical priest, or at least I don't know, but whatever I do learn, I'm supposed to bring it to you, right? You're supposed to bring it to your children. You understand? So this is how we learn to be holy. I want to get into your mind's eye. I want you to understand how to think like the ancestors, right? Think like they did. Get into their mindset, right? And then you'll start to kind of understand some of the customs and some of the rituals, some of the things that they did, some of the traditions of our ancestors, some of the things that they did. Okay? Perhaps you would have a little bit reason to be proud. You know, reason to have a little bit of pride that you did have a heritage, you did have a custom, you did have traditions, you did have these things that did once exist for you. Let's continue. We're going to jump all the way to 20, Leviticus 20. And when we get to 20, I just want to read 25 and 26. Okay? And 25 says that what? Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. Oh, we starting to understand real quick. See, that's why this is the Dietary Law of the Holiness Code, right? We're in Leviticus. We're in the third book in the Bible, okay? We're not even deep in the Bible. We're in the third book of the Bible, and it's telling us one way that you can be holy is to eat holy. Eat clean. Eat what the Bible has designated as clean, as food. One way to make yourself abominable is with the pork chop in your mouth. Is your bacon wrapped shrimp. Okay, your bacon wrap abominations, it makes you abominable to the Most High, right? And if you do that, then sorry, The Spirit of Yah does not dwell in unclean temples, right? This is supposed to be our temple, right? He does not dwell in unclean temples. Now, if you stay with me long enough with this lesson, obviously you'll see it doesn't matter. Even when we go to the New Testament, nothing has changed, okay? Nothing has changed, all right? Now, some people have probably already signed off like, oh, okay, nah, this brother, nah. Okay, fine. You don't want to stick around because you know that there's something you don't want to hear, okay, as we go along. This dietary law is very, very important, okay? He wanted a clean, holy people. We're supposed to be a holy nation. One of the ways, not the only way, but one of the ways for us to be holy is what we eat. Not because I say so, because the Most High says so. Okay? So let's keep that in mind. Now, what do we want here? We said, Leviticus, we're going to do 25, 26. And what did he say again? 26. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. I have separated you. I have sanctified you from other people. And he's doing it with food. Are you starting to get this? Are you starting to get the gravitas of the situation of what's being said right here? 25, one more time. You shall therefore put a difference between between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls, your body, your person, abominable by beasts, by eating beasts, or by eating fowl, or any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. Anything that I said that is unclean, you're not going to eat it and make yourself abominable. But you're going to be holy because I am holy. Look, just that alone, look how powerful that is. And you can't put down the pork chop. Not because I said it, not because your neighbor said it, because the Most High said it. If you don't eat this stuff, you're holy. It's real simple. Now, when we read, we say, when we read somewhere, the holy men of God or something like, we know, well, they kept the dietary law. That could be one of the reasons why they're holy. Sometimes we don't even want to include that. Something as simple as that. Let's keep going. Now, we're going to go back to Leviticus 11. Now that we're over here in 11, we're going to go ahead and read it, most of it, and we'll get the characteristics and some of the things that are listed there as far as what we can eat and what we cannot eat, right? So this is really what the whole lesson is built upon, but obviously we have a ton of scriptures we can go to, right? Because this is going to be a two-parter, if you will. But we're going to start in 11. Clean and unclean meats, right? So let's take a look. And the Lord spake unto Moses, or Moshe, but I'm reading from the King James. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying unto them, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, these are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Okay, tell me this is everything, right? Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven-footed and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Now you're gonna have people say, oh, well, see, yeah, we're not supposed to eat animals. Well, then why we got instructions on which animals to eat? I don't understand. We have instructions on which animals to eat, and you still got fanatics out there who are saying, you can't eat this, you can't eat that. But see, if you read it for yourself, you can't let a butter muffin come along and trick you and try to use a little word sorcery, cast a spell on you, and you like, oh no, we're not supposed to eat. We're not supposed to eat any meat. We're just not supposed to. Yeah, pre-flood, no, we were not, because there was no death. Okay, well, there's, besides the fall, before the fall, Adam and Eve and all that, there was no death. So no, you weren't going to eat that. I read that. I didn't run. First thing we went through. Okay, first thing I said, yeah, we were vegetarians. We didn't. Nobody, but the animals didn't even eat each other. Okay, but something changed, and now you can. And now also you have holy men in the Bible that actually did eat meat. Are you saying they're sinning now? You said they're sinners? Come on, brothers and sisters. You don't let these people do this to you. Don't let them do this to you. Back to 3. Whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and chewed the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. 4. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, and of them that divided the hoof, as the camel. See, the camel you cannot, right? Why? Because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof. He is unclean to you. He is not considered food. You cannot eat a camel. And the coney, because he chewed the cud, but he divided not the hoof, he is unclean to you. He is not food to you. And the hare, okay, like a rabbit, because he chewed the cud, but divided not the hoof, he is unclean. He has like little claws, right? Little rabbits, they have like little claws, right? He is unclean to you. He is not food. I'm adding that he's not food, right? Just for clarity, right? Not adding to the scriptures, just for clarity. I'm just adding clarity. Okay? Said in the hare, verse 7, okay? And the swine, we know that is, it's the pig, right? Pig, hog, warthog, all that, okay? And that. Though he divided the hoof and he is cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you, right? So you have the bovine animals, they chew the cud, meaning they chew this grass and hay and all that other stuff, right? And they regurgitate it up and everything and swallow it back down and all that other stuff. Pigs don't do that. Okay? He is unclean to you. And what is like one of the number one meats sold here in the West? Okay, I mean, I know it's sold all over the world, but I mean, it's everywhere. I've been in the Bahamas. Pig is big out there. Been to the Caribbean. Okay, pig is big out there. Been to the Philippines. Pig is big out there. It's it's all over the world. But in the West, I mean, come on. I mean, they have slogans. Bacon makes it better. I mean, everything tastes better with bacon, kind of thing. They have bacon wrapped sausages. They have bacon wrapped shrimp. Look at some of these cooking shows. Okay, everything. Pork is number one. If you remember back like in the 80s, it was pork, the other white meat, right? You guys get the point, right? But it says, it is unclean to you. Verse 8, of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you, meaning they defile you. You don't touch their carcass, right? So, guys, I mean, what can I say? It's that's how it is out here. That's how it is out here. So let's keep going. Let's keep reading. In verse 9, it says, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. So now we get to the fish. Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. Look how simple that is. Look how simple that is. You see, I mean, even a 7-year-old can get that concept. You can take a 7-year-old fishing and say, hey, whatever we catch, if it has fins and scales, provided that you show them what fins and scales are in the first place, if it has fins and scales, we can eat that. If it doesn't have fins and scales, we can't eat that. You see how simple that is? Right? If it's in the rivers, the waters, the seas, wherever it is, okay? 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. So let me ask you. Shrimp, crab, lobster, catfish. Does these have fins and scales? Like sea turtles, fins and scales, octopus, squid, calamari. I mean, I'll admit, I wanted to try conch so bad when I was in the Caribbean. I wanted to try it so bad, but I was already on the dietary law. I really did. It was everywhere. I was like, man, that looks good. Man, I want to try it. Nope, can't do it. I wanted to try it. I mean, some kind of shellfish or something, I really did. Okay, the conch fritters or something like that. I don't know. I'll never know how it tastes. The things that I have tasted, the abominable things that I ate, it was before the dietary law. I promise you that. But since I wanted to be holy, I wanted to be obedient, wanted to do my best. So I had to scratch those things off the list. I mean, hey, my favorite category of food, Cajun food. Love Cajun food. It's not my favorite anymore because there's so much pork in it. So it's not my favorite anymore. But that was my number one. I said, hey, what's your favorite type of food? Cajun food. Cajun. Oh, so you like, yes, yeah. I like etouffee, jambalaya. I like all that dirty rice, boudin. I like all of it, yes. I can't do it now, but unless some gifted person, some gifted chef, brother, sister, whatever, you cook Cajun food and you make it kosher, you make it clean, let me know. Let me know. I am down for that. Let me know you do that. Let me know what neck of the woods and if I'm ever in your neck of the woods, I will definitely look you up. I'll take all the dishes. I like all of them, but as we all know, the way it comes, it is shrimp and pork and it's sausage and it's crab and it's all kinds of stuff. So can't do it, unfortunately. Cannot do it. But don't cry for me, Argentina. So let's continue. Let's keep looking here. 11. They shall be an abomination unto you, and you shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. 13. And these are they which ye shall have in abomination among the fowls, okay, birds. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination, okay. He started giving some examples. The eagle, and the ostrich, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after its kind. Every raven after it. So every raven, the raven, crows, after its kind, the whole category, right? After his kind. And the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cow, and the hawk after his kind. So it's after their kind. It's them and after their kind, okay? And that whole relation, right? Because we know there's different kinds of owls, there's different kinds of eagles, different kinds of crows and all that, so we know. Okay, the great owl, okay, let's see here. Cacao, 17, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, okay, none of that. And then right in 18 it says, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, right? So we can't eat those, all right? So no swan, no pelican, no gear eagle, stuff like that. You guys, you do your research on, swan or whatever. No, I don't eat swan, but, there's been a big debate about that or whatever as far as translation, but, I don't eat swan anyway. And the reason I bring that up is because people also throw in duck, right? And we know swans and ducks are not exactly the same, but again, I don't worry, I hadn't eaten either one of them, okay? But there's been huge debate, so you gotta really do your research on swan there. Okay, so 19, and the stork and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing and the bat. Okay, I don't know who wants bat unless you're, unless you're a witch out of some anime or something. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Okay. If you guys want to talk about it in the comment section down below, they said the fowls that creep on all fours, someone had brought this up, says all fowl that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Now we know that pretty much fowls, none of them go on all fours, but they're saying, you look at chicken and it has like 4 toes. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. I don't know if the toes, I think it will probably be a little bit more specific, but I mean, what can I say? What can I say? Because it does go into some of those things in other places. So I don't know why I wouldn't do that for birds. Like, for example, 21, it says, yet these may ye eat of every flying, creeping thing that goeth upon all four, which, now it gets specific, which have legs above their feet. So it mentions legs and feet to leap withal upon the earth, right? So if you go back to the chicken thing, I don't know. I don't know. It's not specific, but I mean, someone did ask, and I was looking it up, and I'm still looking at it. But at this point, I have to leave it under further review. Okay, so I'll just be honest with you. I'll leave it under further review. Okay, so withal in 22, even these of them ye may eat the locust after its kind. So you can eat locust and everything like a locust, crickets, grasshoppers, stuff like that. Okay, so it said locust after its kind, and the bald locust after its kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. So you can eat all that. So when you go to some of these other foreign countries and stuff, and they may have some chocolate covered grasshoppers or whatever, if you feel so inclined, you go ahead and try it. I mean, let me know. Some of you guys actually will travel. Let me know if you guys had some of that. I seen they had like fried crickets or whatever, and some people said that it was a good source of protein and it tastes like nuts, like peanuts or something like that. I haven't had it. But hey, let me know. If you guys have tried it, let me know. But this is that Timon and Pumbaa diet, right? I know they eat some slimy stuff too. Stay away from that. But right here, this fits. 23, but all other flying, creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. You will be considered unclean and abominable, right? Don't eat these things. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until evening. See, that's how long you're unclean, because it resets. Okay, so you eat something, it makes you unclean. You're unclean for uneven, basically 24 hours to the next evening. Okay, evening at night to the next evening at night, you'll be considered unclean, right? This is still a sin. It's still a sin. It's just not a sin unto death. Okay, all right. That's the difference. See, the penalty is not death on this particular occasion. Okay, whosoever beareth out of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. You'll be unclean until the next day, right? So let's say you handle, a carcass, and sometimes it may happen. You might have a dead squirrel in your house or something or whatever, or under your house or something. You may have to handle a dead animal, right? Your pet, you may have a pet and that pet dies and you got to go put it to rest and stuff like that. You may have, so it's not a sin unto death. I mean, you don't have to, it's not the death penalty if you do handle it. It's just that you're unclean until the next day, until the next evening. Okay, not the evening that you're in, but the next evening to come. Okay, at night. Okay, and 26, the carcasses of every beast which divided the hoof and is not cloven foot nor chew the cud are unclean unto you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean. You will be considered unclean, right? Now, some guys, they, animal rescue, or sometimes, you see, animal carcasses on the road or something. Somebody actually comes by to clean that up, right? So that person handling it is considered unclean until the evening, right? 27, and whatsoever goeth upon his paws among all manners of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whosoever touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. So you go, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, you cannot eat those, right? They go on all fours on their paws, stuff like that. Just give you an example. So no, you cannot have that. You cannot eat that. It is not clean unto you. Okay. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. They are unclean unto you, not considered food. They're not fit to eat. Remember, my favorite, my grandfather, he's from the New Orleans. He's a Creole guy, right? From New Orleans and stuff. So guess one of the things that I tried. Gator. Okay, we had gator, but that's not clean. You can't eat gator. Okay, I'm sorry, it's not good. Okay, let's keep on looking. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth. The weasel, can't have any weasels. So the possum, right? Living in the South, the possum and coon and all of that. Weasel, nope, can't eat that. And the mouse, can't eat that. And the tortoise after its kind, so we can't eat tortoise. And I had that when I was young too. My father did that. My father had a turtle. I think it was a snapping turtle, because that thing was ornery, right? It had a little sharp right in the front. But yeah, he brought home. I was little. I was like 8 years old, and he brought a turtle home or whatever, and he just killed it and fried it up and all that. I mean, ate turtle. So just being in the South, the weasel, the mouse, tortoise after its kind. So none of that. And the ferret, had that as a pet once. Don't want to eat that. And the chameleon, that's a lizard. And the lizard. And the snails, escargot, anyone? Nope, can't have that. And the mole. Why would anybody want to eat that? I don't know. Okay. And it says here, 31. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever doth touch them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the evening, right? Until the next day. 32. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, doth fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be unclean. Okay, so that means on any vessel, anything that is cooked, that it's on. Now, let me go ahead and give you a tip. Now, look at what it says, okay? It says, upon anything whatsoever, any of them, talking about these dead things, these unclean things, okay? The unclean things, okay? When they be dead, okay? It's unclean and it's dead, and it does fall and touches it. It shall be unclean. This is considered unclean. Now listen to me. Whether it be any vessel of the wood or raiment or skin or sack or whatsoever vessel it be, right? Okay, wherein any work is done, it shall be put in water, so you got to wash it, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be unclean. So the reason why I'm pointing this out is because some of you guys, you go to restaurants and things like that, and it's a good idea to kind of go to, a kosher restaurant or vegan restaurant or something like that. That's best. But some of us, we go to restaurants and they cook clean and unclean, on the same surface, right? So that's bad. You don't want to, you really don't want to mess with that, right? You really don't want to mess with that. But you may want to check, because sometimes they'll cook the different meats on different surfaces, right? And you can just ask. You just ask them that, right? I had a sister. She was a manager of a restaurant. She observed the dietary law, and this grill was for the clean meats, and she had another grill for the unclean meats, because she was the manager. She ran the restaurant. She was the manager. That's how she did it, right? So you never know. Some is like that. Now, remember also, when you go to a restaurant, if it's like first thing in the morning or right when it wakes up, or right when they open up or something like that, remember they washed, they cleaned, they cleaned the grill and all the other stuff. Then remember, it's just unclean until that's morning. I'm sorry. That's morning. But anyway, some restaurants, they're closed. Like they might be closed on Sunday or something. I don't know. They may be closed one day or whatever. So the next time they opened, they hadn't cooked anything at all, right? They hadn't cooked anything at all, so it's clean, because it already been 24 hours since the last time they cooked something on there. So then that would be clean. That would be okay. So your timing. My point is this. Even though it got a little convoluted, I think you get where I was going with it, right? So my point is, it could be your timing, okay? So monitor your timing. Understand the fact that because a surface is unclean, okay, it can be unclean for 24 hours, meaning they wash it down and clean it and stuff like that. If something was cooked in a particular pot, as long as that pot is washed, okay, clean thoroughly, and then for 24 hours, meaning the next evening, it is clean. It's okay, because it also says this about your clothes, okay? If it's on your skin or your clothes or wood or your sack, whatever, it's unclean until the evening, okay? So I want to just kind of point that out to you. I'm just trying to help you a little bit. Obviously, some people throw their hands up and say, hey, I'll just eat at home, and I get it. I really don't have a problem with that, okay? I get it. I'm just trying to help you get an understanding. So I'm going to drop down to, let's see here. I'm going to drop down to 43. We're going to read 43, 45. 43, it says, ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creepeth, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby, because it defiles you, brothers and sisters. 44. For I am the Lord your God, and ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, or separate yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Amen. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God, and ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. And what is this chapter talking about? Food. What's food and what's not food. And that determines, at least this one criteria, determines whether or not you and I are holy. You understand that? That determines whether or not you and I are holy. So you can let some buttermuffin come along and tell you, oh no, it's okay. It's fine. You can eat it. It's okay. It's been done away with. I was shocked and dismayed. Find out that Pastor Geno Jennings, pork is okay. It's okay. I was shocked. I was blown away. I was blown away. Not that I follow him, but I did have a little bit of respect because he did seem to know, the Bible quite a bit, and I know he's into oneness doctrine and everything, and Jesus is the Father and all that. I get it. So I listened carefully to his doctrine, but on that, I was just kind of shocked. Because he's supposed to be one of the holiness movements, right? This is one of the main ingredients on how you be holy. If you think about that for a second, brothers and sisters. I want you to think about that for a second. Consider that. If you ask the average person, how does one be holy? Listen to their answer. Listen to them. And then ask a church person, how do you become holy? And it's going to be how you act, right? Well, if you just, it's going to be like a feeling. It's going to be some kind of behavior type thing. But here's something practical that you can actually do. You follow this dietary law. This is one way I can be holy. Something very, very practical. I mean, just pay attention. Just as your own social experiment. Maybe you go on social media and just say, hey, how does one become holy? How does one be holy? I guarantee you, 99% of the time, you're not going to get this. You're not going to get dietary law. Excuse me. Now, let's go to 2 Maccabees. Yes, sometimes I teach out of the Apocrypha too. Let's go to 2 Maccabees. It's going to be chapter 6, 18 through 31. Let me go to 2 Maccabees. Chapter 6, 18 through 31. It's okay, I'll read it for you if you guys don't have it. I will read it for you. Okay, I'm just pulling it up here. Let's see here. Where's 2 Maccabees? 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, starting at verse 8. Now let's take a look at this, right? Don't worry, we're still talking about the dietary law. We're still talking about it. We're still talking about how big how important it is. Okay? It says that moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestions of Ptolemy against the Jews, that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manner of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery, right? They want to make an example. Anybody who doesn't want to follow, right? For there were 2 women brought who had circumcised their children, whom, when they had openly led round about the cities, the babes handing at their breasts, they cast them down headlong from the wall, right? It's execution. And others that had ran together into the caves nearby to keep the Sabbath day secretly, being discovered by Philip, were all burnt together, because they made a conscience to help themselves for the honor of the most sacred day. Talking about the Sabbath, right? Talking about the Sabbath, right? Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for the chastening of our nation, right? Because Israel, we messed up, right? There's an example. We messed up. It is what it is. For it is a token of the of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with other nations whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us. So sometimes he'll deal with us swiftly. Let me look at this real quick, guys. I'm just going to look back 1 second here. Okay. 18 to 31. I started at 8. So we're going to go. So no problem. We're going to jump up. Now I'm going to jump up to 18. Now watch this. Okay. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. We just read that about swine's flesh, right? But he, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment, right? So he knows he's about to die, right? He knows he's about to die. It's like, eat this pig, get some of this pork chop, get some of this bacon, okay? You can handle this slice of ham, or you can die, right? 20. As it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand out against such things as are not lawful for love of life to be tasted. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast for the old acquaintance they had with the man, taking him aside, besought him to bring flesh of his own provision, such as was lawful for him to use, and make as if he did eat the flesh taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Translation: okay, I tell you what, I see that you're not going to really eat this, but I tell you what, how about we bring you some clean meat, some meat that you are okay with, okay, that's according to your customs and your laws and stuff like that, and you pretend like you are eating the meat that the king has prepared for you, basically, you know, so you can go ahead and eat some of this pork chop, right? Get you some of these baby back ribs. 22. That in doing so he might be delivered from death, meaning they won't kill him, and for the old friendship with them find favor. Okay. Now what happened? 23. But he began to consider discreetly, and as became his age, he was an elderly guy, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head, whereon was come, and his most honest education from a child, and rather the holy law made and given by God. Therefore he answered accordingly, and willed them straightways to send him to the grave. He said, nah, go ahead and kill me. No, I really don't want, I really don't want your ham, you know, keep your pork chop. I'm good. Go ahead and kill me. Do what you got to do. Do your worst. 24. For it becoming not our age, he said, in any wise to dissemble, whereby many young persons might think that Eleazar, being 80 years old and 90 years old, were now gone to a strange religion. So now he just gave up his whole religion. So he knows, being Eleazar, being an aged man, he's like, look, you know, all these young people, you know, they see me, I've been around, they know who I am, I'm 90 years old now and everything. And then all of a sudden at 90 years old, because I'm about to be tormented, I'm about to go ahead and just give up everything that I lived for, everything that I believed, to spare my life. What does that say to them? What message does that send to these young men who watch, right? To give up some strange religion, right? 25. And so they, through my hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer, should be deceived by me. So I'm supposed to just trick them by acting like I'm eating a swine's flesh. That way they go ahead and fall in line. Well, if Eleazar did it, then maybe we ought to do it, right? And I get a stain to my old age and make it abominable. No. See? Brothers and sisters, do you have this kind of conviction? Do you have this kind, right? In 26 it says, for though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. I mean, yeah, you can kill me, and you can spare me, right? You can just not kill me, but then again, when I do finally die, I have to answer to the Almighty. No. Nay. 27. Wherefore now, manfully changing this life, I will show myself such as one as mine age required. Okay, I'm an elderly man. I'm a learned man. I'm a principled man. I'm a disciplined man, and I'm gonna be that until I go into my grave, until you kill me. I'm not gonna switch up now. Basically, I'm keeping the same energy, right? 28. And leave a notable example to such as be young to die willingly and courageously for the honorable and holy laws. And when he had said these words, immediately he went to the torment, right? So they're going to go ahead and torture him and kill him. They that led him, changing the good will, they bear him a little before into hatred, because the foresaid speeches proceeded as they thought, from a desperate mind. Okay, so they thought he just taught, he's a crazy old man, right? But no. But when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that has the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body by being beaten. But in soul am well content to suffer these things, because I fear him. I fear the Most High. I know I'm about to get beaten. I know I'm about to get punished. I know. But I'm pleasing the Most High. I know who I serve. I'm pleasing the Most High. I fear him. That's somebody I can't get away from, right? And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example of noble courage and a memorial of virtue, not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. It's for all of us to learn this. Do you have the courage of your convictions, brothers and sisters? Do you have that? Or are you going to recline back and rest on your laurels? Oh, y'all will understand. I mean, he understands. I mean, if I'm hungry. I mean, I got to do it. I mean, you tell me, brothers and sisters. What do you think? You tell me. Okay? So, I just want to get the seriousness of, don't worry, we'll get New Testament. We'll get into it. Don't worry about it. But what I want to do is, I'm going to end this here. And I want you to join me for the second part of the Dietary Law, the Holiness Code. And I want you to meditate on this. And please join me for part 2. So until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.